who are joining us on Facebook. Welcome to our Sunday morning experience. I am Patty Yoon. I will be your platform leader today. For the sharing our message is Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. The music is by various artists, and Judith Huffman will be sharing the message, or excuse me, the affirmations and meditation. And also, Sam Jones is behind the scenes, as always, doing our Zoom and our technology, helping us with that. And we just appreciate everyone who makes this morning happen. Let's give them all a hand. Yay. Thank you so much. Our greatest desire is that you are inspired by today's music, the message, the meditation. You are a blessing to us. And this is the month, again, the power of love. And love is the power to harmonize, the ability to unify, to desire, to attract to oneself, and to feel appreciation and affection for. And so, with that power of love, let's say our mission statement together on screen: inspiring spiritual transformation as a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive community. And with that same power of love, let's say our statement of being together on screen: there is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Again, we want to thank everyone who is joining us today on Zoom or on Facebook. We especially want to welcome anyone who is experiencing unity today for the very first time. We're so excited that you are here with us today. We hope that you are blessed by today's service, and we hope to get to see you in person soon. In fact, we hope we all get together in person very soon. Unity is a worldwide ministry dedicated to the ongoing awareness of the spirit within all of us. Wherever you may be on your spiritual journey, just take what works for you and gently release the rest. And we will now bless everyone who is watching this morning. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ as you, just as you are. Thank you so much.
We'll now move into a time of prayer. So we just open ourselves up to the awareness of the divine presence right where we are. Wherever we are, God is. Because God is present in us, through us, around us. Each and every one of us are a unique expression of the one presence and one power. Because of this truth, because of this eternal truth, love is present where we are. Understanding is present where we are. Peace is present where we are. And we claim love, understanding, and peace now. We open and avail ourselves to the divine flow. And we say yes to its presence. And we say yes to its blessings. And the divine flow flows into our lives and magnifies those places in our lives where there is well-being, and it brings healing to those places in our lives that are imbalanced, off balance, or where there may be wounding or error thinking. We open ourselves to this field of grace, and we claim its blessings. And we think of each and every person connected to our spiritual community Whether anyone is in a space of thanksgiving or in a time of challenge, we know that the magnifier of the thanksgiving is present, and we know that the answer to the challenge is present, right where we are. To the good people of Texas and other places in the country that have been severely hit with extreme weather and power outages, extreme freezing, we know love, comfort, and grace. To our country, our city, our state, and our world, we know the divine flow is present. And we also know receptive hearts and minds to this divine flow, giving way to its blessings, its understandings, its answers, its safety and security. We know this and affirm this now. And as we affirm this, we experience gratitude. Every fiber of our being is resonating in gratitude. Thank you, God. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Saying it all night. Gotta let it go. You gotta let it all go. You got to let it all go. That was a good note. This is what you have to say. I read peace. I
Please join me now as we take a few moments to go within, to relax into our chairs or wherever we're sitting, to take a few deep breaths, allowing the breath to become deeper and moving us into a place of stillness. And as we move into this special sacred place, allow ourselves to focus on our breath for just a moment, allowing it to carry us deeper and deeper. I'll ask you to join me now as we journey together to explore this time of Lent, a time that we celebrate in the Christian world, a time of release and letting go, a time of transformation and renewal. Lent is a journey to wholeness. And as we begin this Lenten season, let us commit ourselves to letting go of thoughts, behaviors, or attitudes that no longer serve our highest good. I was inspired by the words from Unity's spiritual practice booklet, Release and Renewal, as I read on Wednesday and Thursday. The words from those lessons reminded me that it's time to release thoughts of limitation and to renew our minds with thoughts of infinite possibilities for growth and for change. On Thursday, we were reminded of a childhood story, The Little Train That Could. Maybe it was a favorite of yours. I know it was of mine. And it planted in my mind, in my subconscious, the thoughts, I can, think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Those words, I'm sure, guided me through challenging times in my early life. And today when I read that story to my grandchildren, I often change the words to, I know I can, I know I can, I will, I will. I did it. I did it. And that mountain that the little train must cover, get across, is those limiting thoughts and fears and frustrations that we hold in the back of our mind. And sometimes they seem almost insurmountable. And yet, we affirm the truth of our divine nature. Yet knowing that we can change, we can move from fear to mastery. We can climb that mountain and get across to the other side. Paul says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So we renew our minds from thoughts of limitation, the thoughts of knowing that we can transform our lives simply by changing our thoughts and affirming, I can do it. I know I can. I am who I affirm I am. And now, take just a few moments for contemplation. Reflect on a thought or a feeling or a behavior that you would like to release during this Lenten period. And in the silence now, simply allow that thought to come. And as you've allowed that thought to rise in your mind, know that you can change it and affirm your highest and your best. Like that little train, I know I can transform my life by transforming my thoughts and my words, my actions. I can become new. We all can change. Simply let go and affirm your highest and your best. And as you do, your life will be transformed. Very gently now, begin to return to conscious awareness, wiggling your toes and your fingers, and gently fluttering your eyes open. And know that your intention to change will carry you forward. Affirm with me our affirmations for today. I am transformed by the renewal of my mind. I am made new. I am enough.
Bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. Think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before. Broken heart and slamming doors. I'll be alright, yes I will, once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. So bring it on. Everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I know it's gonna be everything new.
Well, good morning, everyone. That was beautiful, the music. Wow. Well, I'm so glad to be with you again. appearing in your home, so to speak. And I'm here to talk a little bit about Lent. And so always I want to remind you, just sit back, relax, and enjoy. And there's my personal information. My website is paulhasselbeck.com. My podcast is metaphysicalrom2.com. And there's my email address, alberthasselbeck@gmail.com. I like to make that available to all of you since I am the minister of record for Wichita. All right, so let's get going. Keep it true Lent. I figured we might as well go with a trusted title from Charles Fillmore's book. And what's the purpose of Lent? I thought it'd be really good to review some things about Lent. So it's actually a season of preparation of the believer for Easter. And if you're a traditional Christian, there's good news and bad news about that. But before we get to that, it's based on having 40 days to prepare for Easter. Now, what's wonky about this is the ancient church fathers decided that Sundays wouldn't count. So Lent usually lasts about 46 days. But this idea of Moses, Elijah, and Jesus observing 4 days of prayer and fasting in preparation for their spiritual work is the basis of why Lent happens. And so now the good news. Well, prayer is important. Almsgiving is important. Now that's kind of an old-fashioned word, isn't it? I kind of had to look that up. I knew it had to do something about giving. It has to do with giving to the poor, helping the poor financially, with food, with shelter, whatever we can give. And it's about living simply for these next 46 days, actually. But here's the bad news. We're expected to practice penance. In other words, voluntary self-punishment. Now, this part of Lent is based on the idea that we find in traditional Christianity that we somehow don't measure up, that we're sinners, that we're bad in some way. And so we got to find a way to punish ourselves. Now in Unity, we don't believe in that original badness. We believe in our original goodness, that we're all innately good. Now, when I was a kid, I would give up stuff. Now, as an adult, if I was going to give up something, I would give up my Starbucks. And even though COVID has helped me do that anyway, I still manage to slip to the store once in a while and get one. So I actually could give it up. But I don't believe in doing that. Something like this is a better idea. Don't give up wine, chocolate, Starbucks, or cookies for Lent. What if we did something like this? Giving up gossiping or lying or bigotry. That might produce something better for our community. But the really interesting thing is before a lot of people enter into this time of less fun, penance, self-sacrifice, and all of that, there's always a big party, and it's called the Mardi Gras. It's sometimes called Fat Tuesday. This is where people indulge in everything they've decided they can't indulge in during Lent. So I've always wondered about that. What's really interesting is the spirit of humankind. That even though in New Orleans this year, they couldn't have their floats, they couldn't gather in the way they normally did, they used their power of imagination to keep the idea going. And this is how they did it. Instead of having floats on the street, they created what they called float houses. And so instead of the parade going by people, the people went by these float houses. And aren't they decorated magnificently? And then the people still wore costumes as well. So there's this huge celebration before we go into this time of preparation. And it begins with Ash Wednesday. That was just this past Wednesday, in case you didn't know. And this idea of putting ashes on the forehead is about that penance that we're supposed to do if we were traditional Christians. And I read somewhere that priest actually said something like, from ashes you came, and to ashes you will return. And this doesn't feel very inspiring and uplifting to me. And this is why I like the unity message better. Now, you may be wondering why I have a fillet of fish sandwich here. Well, there's a reason for it. You see, back in the days when I was a kid, that sandwich was produced by a McDonald's franchisee in my hometown in Cincinnati, Ohio. And it's one of my favorite things to get from McDonald's. So in a way, if there wasn't Lent, we wouldn't have the fillet of fish sandwich. And I also looked up this is interesting, that the first McDonald's in Wichita was opened on February 4th, 1960 at Hillside and Harry. Not very far from the church, is it? And so, like I said, if it wasn't for traditional Lent and people eating fish on Sunday, and this hamburger place, McDonald's, didn't have much business on Fridays in Cincinnati, we wouldn't have the fillet of fish sandwich. And so anyway, let me go on. So what about unity? What does it mean to unity? Why do we even talk about it? So it's like, but why? And so there's some important details here. That number 40 represents completed preparation for something to follow. So we can think of these 40 days as a preparation as we go towards Easter. Charles Fillmore said in To Keep a True Lent, and you'll read this with me, it's a preparation for the resurrection of the mind, for the awakening of the mind from the darkness of its errors, doubts, and false beliefs into light of understanding. So even though we have this original goodness, we can still have error thoughts and doubts and false beliefs. So Lent turns into a time to let go of some of that rather than giving up chocolates or wine or Starbucks. And so when we talk about giving up things, we have to identify it. And often when I teach, I hear people say, Paul, why can't we just focus on the good stuff? Why can't we just focus on the positive? I like doing affirmations. Well, maybe you recognize the picture of this woman, Louise Hay. She was quite famous. She recently passed. She wrote the book, You Can Heal Yourself. And she also started one of the most successful positive or uplifting book companies called Hay House. And so when she was interviewed once, here was her response about looking at the negative. If you're going to clean a house, you have to see the dirt. If you're going to clean a turkey pan, if you're going to do the dishes, you have to see the dirt that you're cleaning. And so that is why us being able to recognize any current errors or doubts or debilitating beliefs is so important. And she said, after we do that, and then when you do that, then you can do lots of good affirmations. Because if all that dirt in our consciousness, all that negativity, all that error thought is still in there, it holds us back. It gets in the way. And yeah, I know a lot of people think unity is sort of like positively light or something like that, or like cotton candy. But certainly Mother Myrtle didn't feel that way. So I want to share a couple paragraphs of a famous quote from Myrtle Fillmore. So again, I invite you to read along. And this comes from How to Let God Help You. So she was having these physical problems. Now, this was after she cured herself of the tuberculosis. She was having digestive problems. And she says, the trouble did not respond to ordinary faith and prayer. Now, this is one of those sentences when I read them in the book, I wish I had Myrtle right here and say, Myrtle, what do you mean by ordinary faith? What do you mean by ordinary prayer? Because I'm puzzled. And then she says, I finally asked the Lord just why it was that I did not get well. She's talking to her inner divinity. I explained that I had gone all through my consciousness to see what it was that held me and that I had tried to find the fault. You see, Myrtle was in that process. Find the error, find the doubt, find the limiting belief. That's part of our process of spiritual growing. And then she says, the Spirit said to me, you have looked among your faults. Now look among your virtues. And Myrtle said, I thought that strange. But soon it came to me that I had tried to keep my feelings to myself, taking great pride in the fact that I never let anyone know just how I felt when anything displeased me or hurt me. I found that I did not feel as sweet and poised on the inside as I seemed outwardly. So you see, this idea that somehow has penetrated the unity movement, that we're supposed to act happy when we're really not feeling happy inside, is not something Myrtle believed. She believed we were to find out this stuff and root it out and work on it. And then she says, I began to watch and to redeem that state of my mind. She says, I determined to handle all that came to me before I swallowed it and allowed it to irritate, cut, and weaken my nerves and organs as I gained real poise. You see, that other thing she was doing was false poise. As I gained that real poise and the ability to keep my thoughts and feelings truly free, I was healed and restored to strength and normal functioning. And so it's really important for us to identify this stuff and then withdraw our attention, interest, and support from the false and the unworthy. But like the dirt in your house or the grunge in your turkey pan, you have to identify it first in order to remove it. And then we give that same attention, that attention we were giving to the bad and ugly, we give it to the support of the enduring good, the truth of what we are. We set it on the things of spirit. And you might remember the importance of putting what we are first, that I've talked about many times. So we are releasing what we can identify and let go, and we're renewing our minds around the things of spirit, around the things of our innate divinity. And friends, after all, this is the process we teach all the time. It's denial and affirmation. It's a process of eliminating that stuff that gets in the way in our mind so we can raise our consciousness. And so here are some of my favorites from the booklet. And I just want to do a shout out to Samantha for her effort she put in to taking it around to individuals and dropping it off to them. Thank you, Samantha. So I release any belief in limitation and I renew my sense of possibilities. You see, because of your divinity, you have infinite possibilities. I release all doubt and indecision. I renew my wisdom and understanding. I release apathy. I renew my zeal and enthusiasm. I release gossiping. I renew speaking well of others. I renew seeing others through the eyes of my divinity so I can see their divinity. I release negativity and I renew expecting good. Are you expecting good? And so, friends, that is how you keep a true Lent. And I hope you do it over the next 40 some days. And even if you only did it once a week, you will raise your consciousness. And that is a very good thing. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Reverend Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselback. Thank you. That was really amazing. I have my Lent book and I've started it and I am enjoying it already. Thank you for a shout out to that. And what an inspiration. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We are certainly blessed here at Unity of Wichita by the music, the message, the meditations, and all of us gathered here together. And if you are so moved to give a tithe or an offering, we invite you to go to our secure website at www.unityofwichita.org/donations to give your financial gift or to mail it directly to the church at Unity of Wichita, 2160 North Oliver, Wichita, Kansas 67208, or you can bring it directly to the church during regular business hours. And there will be a link in the chat that you can also follow. Whatever amount you are guided to give, just visualize your electronic tithe or offering and just hold that in your heart as we say together our offering blessing on screen. Divine love flowing from me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Amen.
Thank you, Patty. I have to tell you guys that I hope it went well. So I thank you for being patient as we had some internet technical things going on. And then I want to mention, before we get into the announcements, be sure and check your chat box. I noticed through the talk that Reverend Paul gave us that was so awesome. Eleanor Ferris was putting in links to access Keep a True Lent, Charles Fillmore's Keep a True Lent, and Myrtle Fillmore's How to Heal. I think I don't remember, but check your chat box so you can get a free access to that through truthunity.net. And as we look forward, just remember that the annual meeting was rescheduled, so you'll be looking for those nominees again in your e-blast, and we'll be getting out some information in the mail very soon for you about that. One other announcement is that this week on the 25th, Art will be hosting the Connect to Connect event again. So you guys know that it's so much fun to just get together and talk. And I think we even told jokes last month. So be part of that with us this coming week. And we want to visualize those kiddos that met this morning. I know that Jordan and Judith were on that call with Kelly this morning, and I hope that there were others. I'm not sure, I haven't heard yet, but we're going to affirm that they were there together. And so let's visualize them in our hearts and our minds as we bless the youth department and all those kiddos. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you, just as you are. And with that, we will move it right back on over to Mr. Art Handy.
And for all you big kiddos, thank you so much for your love and your attention and your presence here in the Sunday experience. As I say, you are the Sunday experience. So we'll now move into affirming our prayer of protection, and then we will move into the vibration of peace. You see the prayer of protection on your monitor. Let us affirm together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. and all is well. And now that we're in this prayerful space, in this space, let us affirm together, I am peace. I am peace. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. God bless you.